Is there proper training happening here when it comes to ICE?
There's not. We've all seen it. And there should be.
You definitively state that they're not being properly trained. Do you know that?
Because they're shooting dogs. They're shooting dogs in people's that have been locked in people's bathrooms. They're abandoning small children alone in cars while they. No, it's not false. Look it up. Don't just say false.
That's Republican Scott Jennings leaving co-host of The View and manatee in a sweater. Ana Navarro stunned by pointing out the obvious and saying that enforcing the law isn't cruelty, no matter how badly liberals want it to be. Welcome to Nerk News. I'm Nerkish, and if you're looking for the best bits of establishment media without sitting through hours of liberal propaganda, you've come to the right place, because it looks like Democrats are back to crying foul over the very laws they ignored for years. I mean, when you let over 10 million people cross illegally under Biden and Harris, any return to enforcement looks extreme to the left. Here's Jennings taking on Navarro's latest emotional meltdown over ICE doing its job.
Abandoning small children. They turned the children over to HHS.
There were actually small children abandoned in a highway in a car in Cicero, Illinois.
You make these sweeping statements that they're not training.
Would you like me to get
training ICE
with
examples
of what is happening?
Of course they're training them.
Well, they're training them, then they're not learning the stuff. They're definitely violating human rights, Scott.
Well, I disagree with you.
Okay, well.
Well, look, Scott, she had a specific example. It sounds like you were unfamiliar with it.
I'm not aware of her example. Here's what I know.
Okay, so
under Joe Biden, they didn't enforce federal immigration law. Now we do. We're having hundreds of thousands of interactions.
My point is that you
things will happen, but she said they are not training them. She said they're not training.
Do you think that trained
She was saying a specific example, and you said it was false.
She said, quote, they're not training them.
You just acknowledged that you don't know what she was referring to.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Scooping up U.S. citizens without giving them...
I disagree with the generalization that they're scooping up U.S. citizens.
There's 170 that have been scooped up.
Well, there's over 500,000 illegal aliens that have been deported.
There's little children that have been scooped up that are U.S. citizens.
All right, look.
I know, you don't want the law enforced. I get it. You don't have to yell at me. You don't want the law enforced.
You're the one yelling, too.
Listen, look, it is true.
Guess what?
On
this table, black and white people can yell.
Have been detained by ICE without
detained and released.
Yeah,
released.
But whether you're detained
after
and released
hours
or days, your rights may still be violated, and that's still an issue that people have a right to be concerned about.
Can I just throw a curveball? The reason why they're often detained, though, is also because of the color of their skin.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's, again, a sweeping blanket general. Do you know of a specific instance where someone...
we got data for
honestly.
The answer is...
You're saying they're not training. You're saying they're racist. I mean, these are blanket statements.
That was a blanket statement.
The answer is...
You know, this is what liberals do. They twist rare incidents into moral outrage to attack anyone enforcing the law. I mean, they act like ICE agents are out hunting golden retrievers for sport when the truth is the dog in question charged officers and was a Rottweiler. It's standard procedure for all law enforcement to do that, not cruelty. These are trained professionals who put themselves in harm's way every day to do a job. And call me crazy, but the left's sudden concern for children is completely fake. They ignored the 300,000 migrant kids lost under Biden, all of the border deaths, the millions sacrificed for convenience under their version of healthcare, and the well-being of those they brainwash and experiment on to further their destructive progressive ideology. At the end of the day, kids are just pawns to them, because it's all about emotion, optics, and keeping the chaos going.
Lydia, I mean, is it time for Trump? I mean, he could be the person that just says, okay, let's get this done.
Well, how many Democrats have voted for the CR? It was good enough for them to vote on in March, and now something has changed, and they're not willing to vote on the same CR that they were once willing to support. And I think it's pretty clear that it's Schumer and a lot of Democrats who are bowing to the left flank of their party, people who want to see movement and want to see action. And their whole framework for why they should do this is really flawed. As Obama said, elections have consequences. And they basically want to undo the rightfully passed big, beautiful bill that the Republicans signed into law. That is what this whole effort that they are making. And yes, it's about healthcare, but there's also all kinds of pork actually that is in this bill. There's $3.9 million for LGBTQI plus democracy grants in the Balkans, $13.4 million for civic engagements in Zimbabwe, $2.9 million for desert locust relocation in Africa. And they're the ones who have time and time again, now after 11 votes, been unwilling to work with the GOP.
Donald Trump likes to say that he is the deal maker in chief, that's what he brings to the table. So yes, to answer your question, it is time for Donald Trump to show that deal-making prowess, that statesman-like attitude that he had abroad, to show it domestically and stop putting out AI-generated memes of him attacking other Americans or attacking Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries.
Here's what I think. The president said today he'd be happy to meet with the Democrats if they stop holding the government hostage. They could easily walk in there tonight, pass the CR, give us 7 weeks. The president brings everybody together. And my strong belief is that they would wind up negotiating on a number of issues, and they would come to an agreement. The president doesn't want to negotiate under duress. In the Hill today, a Democrat senator anonymously said, none of us want to vote to open the government because, quote, we'd face the guillotine. That's their words from our base.
Yeah, I think you just made a very important.
You know, people aren't buying this spin because everyone knows this is the Democrats' shutdown. I mean, they blocked a clean funding bill weeks ago just to stuff it with pork for their activist friends and overseas projects. That's not leadership. It's extortion dressed up as virtue. Families are feeling the pain while Democrats play politics, but it's backfiring. Polls show Trump's approval steady near 48% because voters see who's really at fault. The more Democrats drag this out, the clearer it gets. This isn't about keeping government open, it's about keeping Trump from winning. But let me know what you think. Are Democrats deliberately holding the shutdown hostage to block real reforms? Are ICE agents properly trained or just cartoon villains breaking into people's homes? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye.